Hi everyone, Bruce Mufson, LCSW, coming at you with another video breakdown from SUNRIDGE, Nevada. For those of you new to the channel, we want to explain what the purpose of our channel is. We want to give you information so you have a better understanding about mental health issues. As for myself, I went to the University of Georgia where I received a master's in social work. I then had to do a 2-year internship and then take a national exam to become a licensed clinical social worker. I have worked inpatient at a hospital, and I've also done outpatient work visiting people in their homes. I have also assessed people in prison and detention facilities and have testified hundreds of times in court in front of a judge regarding mental health issues to clarify things to the judge, ADA, and public defender. I have also done extensive public speaking, mostly to law enforcement, about understanding how to work better with the mentally ill. And to maintain my license, I have to take 36 hours of classes every 2 years to maintain my license. Tonight, we're going again and going through the album of Kendrick Lamar, of course, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. And tonight's song breakdown is going to be Savior. Again, I'm only going to break down the parts that I find clinically significant, and I will explain to you ahead of time where I'm going so you can follow along with the song. Okay, here we go. The song, amazing. I mean, all the songs are great, but this one really kind of hit home for me because on many levels, on a clinical understanding of where he's coming from and what he's trying to come across with. But here we go. In the intro, Kendrick made you think about it, but he is not your savior. Cole made you feel empowered, but he's not your savior. Future said, get a money counter, but he is not your savior. Bron made you give his flowers, but he is not your savior. He is not your savior. And what he's saying from the very beginning, and he's speaking for himself, is that, guess what? None of us in this paragraph are. No matter who we are, you might think that we are, but we are not. And don't forget the term savior is what he's been referred to for a very, very long time. And what he's doing is he's pushing back at that definition of himself and kind of hinting, if you want a savior, you know, look at something like a higher power kind of perspective. But I'm not your savior. I'm not the guy. All right. Now, in verse 1, he takes a real great, powerful perspective on the definition of like people doing like groupthink for you. That because you're a certain religion, you're a certain ethnicity, you're a certain color, you have to be a certain way. Groupthink. And he pushes back in it, against it. And I love this line where he goes, like it where they when they pro-black, but I'm more Kodak black. It's a great line. Tell me where the money at, where the homies at. Again, I love that line. I'm going to say it one more time out loud. Like it when they pro-black, but I'm more Kodak black. You are this, you, but I am this. This is who I am. Okay, we are not the same. Don't decide for me what direction I'm supposed to go in. Don't decide for me. This is how you, Kendrick, are going to have to be. And it's a great lesson for all of us out there as well. And he goes, you know, the money and the homies. Yeah, what happened to the money and the homies? Where are they? You know, tell me where the money at, where the homies at. Here today, gone tomorrow. A little further down, okay, show me you real, show me that you bleed. Are you really in tune with me? Do you really stand by me? Do you bleed with me? You know, just perfect. Show me that you're real, that you bleed, that you're really in the game. Are you invested? Because so many people, and we learned this from social media, that you think are your friends, they're not. You know, oh, my numbers show this. It's so transparent. It's so vapid. Think about it. A little further down. I've seen blank arguing about who's blacker, even blacked out screens and called it solidarity. Great line. It's such a great artist with his expressions and his writing. This definition of racial understanding has me confused. So you are going to define me? Who decided that? You know, it's so interesting in counseling when I work with kids, and they'll say to me, well, from where I'm from, people don't do this. People don't do that. People are not allowed to do this. I said, is like a handbook for that? Is there like something online I could look at? Who decided that for you? Well, I can't take certain classes, where I can't do certain kinds of academics, where I can't go in this kind of career. Who decided that? What, there's a council of stupidity, of not taking chances? Think for yourself. And then, okay, going forward into verse 2. This is another great perspective on how he saw things. Bite they tongues and rap lyrics, scared to be crucified about a song, but they won't admit it. Politically correct is how you keep an opinion. Blank is tight-lipped. Blank who dare to be different. It's brilliant. It's poetry. It just flows. Seen a Christian say the vaccine mark of the beast. Then he caught COVID and prayed to Pfizer for relief. I mean, I laughed out loud when I listened to this. Then he caught COVID and prayed to Pfizer for relief. Then I caught COVID and started to question Kyrie. Will I stay organic or hurt in this bed for 2 weeks? Brilliant. Just brilliant writing. And I love how he's willing to challenge the status quo, push against it. Call it for what it is. You want to stay in the middle. You want to be vanilla. You want to be nice to everybody. Let me give you a life lesson. You're never going to be anybody. If you stay in the middle lane, you don't challenge, you don't push, you don't go anywhere. This channel is designed to do that, to push against the boundaries of what therapy is supposed to be. To us, it's universal. We believe we are about to break, and when we break, it's to give people a chance to get therapy on a level that will empower you no matter where you live and who you are. Because I've had the status quo, and quite frankly, I'm tired of it. And this is for everyone listening, and this is what Kendrick is saying. You want music to be controversial. Well, you got to say something controversial. You can't just hide behind lyrics that don't really say anything, that are not going to challenge things, that are not going to make you think. These 7, 8 lines are brilliant. I quote some of the things that he says, and I'm going to steal some of these lines because they're brilliant. Are you going to stay and stick with the crowd? Bring it out into the open, the truth about this. Everyone says this, everyone says that. And then going a little further, but that's how we all think. Only one way to go, the collective consciousness. Lockstep, mind step. We all have to think and speak as one. Well, we've looked at history, and when you kind of do that, only terrible things seem to happen. When you have fascism, when you have communism, when people are not allowed to speak for themselves, what happens? You don't go anywhere. It's a terrible, terrible way to live when you don't have differences in opinion and letting people think for themselves. But no, you look like this, you act like this, you talk like this, you come from this neighborhood, you come from this state. You got to think like everyone. Sometimes you do, but sometimes, most of the time, you need to have your own opinion and your own perspective. Then he goes a little further down in the chorus when he's doing this with Baby Keem, and he goes, smile in my face, are you happy for me? He goes, blank, are you happy for me? Really, are you happy for me? Smile in my face, are you happy for me? Yeah, smile in my face and stab me in the back. I've had that happen to me multiple times. Blank, are you happy for me? Really, are you happy for me? Yeah, and all these are in this form of a question. Blank, really, smile, yeah. Blank, really, smile, yeah. Yeah, really? Really? Are you really happy for me? Because all of them are questions, because they all have to be said that way. Are you really happy for me? Are you really, really happy for me? Then, in verse 3, comes clean. He's honest. It's raw. It's real. That's what makes the song pop so much to me. The cat is out of the bag. I'm not your savior. This is who I am. I'm Kendrick Lamar. I'm a musician. I'm also a father. I'm also a husband. Blah, blah, blah. I got 2 little kids to take care of. I got problems like everybody else. I am not your savior. I find it just as difficult to love thy neighbors. I'm not a God. I don't walk, there's a lot of references in walking on water. I'm not. I find it just as difficult to love my neighbor. And then a little further down, two great lines in a row. The struggle for the right side of history, independent thought is like an eternal enemy. That's philosophical. How many people have said this over the last several thousand years? Independent thought is like an eternal enemy. So powerful how the state and the system wants to crush you for having differences of opinion. Stay poor, stay stupid, stay in poverty, stay on government handouts, stay. We don't want you to be informed. We don't want you to be educated. We don't want you to think yourself because we know what's best for you. Who is right and what is right? So few of us are able to speak for ourselves. We follow the crowd like sheep, afraid to speak up and out. And then finally he ends with this. He goes, I've rubbed elbows with people that was for the speaking, people that was for the people. They all greedy. I don't care for no public speaking. Yeah, he's saying, look at me. I've been around the block. I've seen things. I've been around people that promise, and in the end they manipulate you. They don't give you anything. Don't buy into the hype and the fake promises that people make to you with no shame or guilt ever. It's perfect. Being manipulative, such an acquired taste. I've rubbed elbows with people that was for the people, going the line above. They all greedy. I don't care for no public speaking. And finally, he closes with protecting my soul in the valley of science. He's been anointed, without him ever being coronated, so to speak, that he's God. And he has to follow the platform that's been established for him. And he pushed back and said, I'm not that person. I am not the Messiah. You want a savior, look for somebody else. And when he says things, protecting my soul in the valley of silence, yeah, I got to get my head right, because valley of silence is radio silence. When I need you to be for me, you're not there. But when you want me to be there for you, you're not there for me. Like, I'm not that person. I'm not here to be for every cult and every personality and every dogma. I'm not. I am Kendrick Lamar. I'm who I am. I have to escape to save who I am. So perfect. I really enjoyed this song so much. I know there's a lot of talk about the lyrics. The lyrics were fantastic, but how the background music goes and the choruses, yeah, they're all great. But to me, the words hit home so much because it speaks so much how I explain things in counseling. We get so used to letting others dictate when we are, who we are from A to Z. Even more so now with social media. And more than ever, we're so afraid to be ourselves and follow the beat of our own drum. Even more so today with social media, where the average amount of time a teenager is online is between 5 and 6 hours a day. And you're taught from a very early age with that first iPad, be predictable, be vanilla, follow the crowd, don't be different, buy this, wear this, look like this, and if you don't, you're an outcast. You're a nobody. Kendrick is saying in this song, since you all don't believe me, let me make it clear and scream it from the rooftops. I am not your savior. I am not God. I'm a person like you. I am, in so many words, become your own savior and learn how to have confidence and strength in who you are and what is important to you as an individual. I want to share a quote from a woman named Margaret Mead, who was an anthropologist. And it goes like this: never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. She was an anthropologist, and what do? They work to kind of come up with new ideas, like how to handle diseases better or how to deal with crowd control, that kind of stuff. That's what anthropologists do. So many people that come to me for counseling have to be reprogrammed. Why? Because they come in with a mindset of what was told to them, and that's how they were able to be abused, neglected, taken advantage of, victimized, because that's what everyone told them to think. And I had to spend so much time like cleaning out their head and cleaning out their coconut to get them to learn to be an independent thinker, develop their own mental health body armor, and get some claws and learn how to push back against people that tell them, well, you have to do this because I told you to do so. And I want you to learn how to find your own voice. In conclusion, never let anyone define you, and learn how to be different with your own perspectives. Let us know when you learn to do this, and share that moment when you were real with yourself and with your own values. Thanks for watching. Bruce Mufson, LCSW, Sunridge, Nevada.